first indoor adventure in the Four Keeps Reunion, Part 6. Today is October 19th, 2020, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the shows that we have put up since we went live 2 years ago. All of those there VODs. And you can, of course, check us wherever audiocasts are made available for free under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, you can go to patreon.com/indooradventures to check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. And if you would like to be one of those community members that would be wanting to ask questions, hey, I updated the link in the Discord. It works again, so you can join us from the side chat off to the side or from the description below in this video, VOD, what have you. I'm going to slowly be going back through all of the games that we have posted and adjusting that Discord link as well. So hopefully it will work for the future. And speaking of things that are related to the future, did you want to help continue to support the future of this channel? I can think of no better way than going to indooradventure.redbubble.com. We got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, crop tops, throw pillows, sweaters, clocks, journals, shower curtains, and most importantly, we also got face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them. So if you would like to go around and make sure that you are protected while going out and about your day, as well as help support research towards the eventual vaccine of COVID-19 by Doctors Without Borders, all of the proceeds from our face masks end up going to help support that cause. So if you would like to help support a good cause and also our show, you can go to, again, indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice. And speaking of things that are something nice, hey, RJ, who you playing today?
You can pick me up anytime. Hi, I'm RJ. I'll be playing Caelum, the Shadowkai Wizard Cleric.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and I'll be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter.
Hi, I'm Cyber. I play Arjhan, the Draconian Fighter. I have Indomitable. He, him.
Hi everybody, I'm Wings. I'm going to be playing as Cori, the Elegant Paladin.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, your group had been teleported to the Isle of Summer, thanks to your dear, we'll call him a tentative friend, Damien, the Kalen Academy instructor, who was at one point Cori's teacher. After you all made it to the Isle of Summer, you met up with Ilmi, a Feywild agent working for the summer courts that you guys had actually been rather familiar with on the material plane. And it was at that point that you all decided that you were going to gear up and get ready for the eventual passage to the Winter Isles. Now, one thing that you were made aware of is that you needed to go to the Amphitheater of the Kings, the location where all of the quote-unquote Kings of Summer, these powerful summer archfey, are going to be meeting to decide what to do about the arrival of winter, especially because you all have a little bit of an insider knowledge. You generally know what day that summer is supposed to fall to winter, and in doing so can make things a little bit easier. Now, you all decided that you were going to venture off into the woods, and, well, anything could happen in the woods. As you were all making your way, Gwen, you decided that you were going to forge a path like no other and cut through what you thought was a tree, and then that tree started to scream and bleed as you realized that it was the leg of a very, very large insect. It was at that point that a bunch of these lizard-like creatures that we called Thrynaxes came out of the brush and began attacking this creature. However, that creature was not the only thing attacked, as your group also came face to face with a set of these very powerful lizard-like boys. Now, they have been defeated. You met up with Ilmi, who is away during that fight, and totally not because I forgot to roll her in there, but because she was, running away from Thrynaxes on her own. You cast a flight spell on your group, making your way quickly away from this dangerous area. Upon arriving at what you thought was a safe place, you could hear a rumbling of the ground and almost a Jurassic Park style intro as this monumental beast came crashing through the brush. You're all tired. You didn't really want to fight this thing. Thankfully, you didn't have to. As an individual known as the Kalen of the Summersongs, one Rudbeck Goldstrom, punched his way like a bullet through the air into the side of this large creature's face, where he told it to leave and leave your guys' group alone. And as this monumentous beast ended up leaving, almost whimpering, away from your group, that is when this individual turned towards your group and seemed rather happy and albeit a bit excited to see your group. So, getting a good look at Ruddick's, or not Ruddick, that was a different character. Fuck, I just had his name. No, it is Rudbeck. There's Rudbeck and then there's Ruddick. And Ruddick is GB's character, who totally isn't a class traitor. So Rudbeck stands before you. They are well over 6 feet tall. They have, I described them last week as friend-shaped, but I realized that friend-shaped was the wrong descriptor of it, because mentally I was thinking friend, when in reality it's more of like a Dorito-shaped body. Like, they are very muscular on the top, have a very powerful stance, and looking at, now that you have a better chance to look at Rudbeck, they have like a large puncture scar on their lower right-hand abdomen, kind of like a claw mark scar that comes down from the back of their left-sided jaw that goes like across the jugular and pectoral a little bit. Like, it's not a friendly scar. It looks like this dude has almost died a multitude of times. And there are tribal-style pattern tattoos that come over the collarbones, over the shoulders, and then from under the ribs, beneath the sides of the arms as well. And when they arrive, they raise their hand towards your group and just, "Oh, it's so good to see you all. Cori, it's been years!" Or at least it feels like it's been years. And he rushes up and wraps you in a very big hug and just easily picks you up off the ground and, like, gives you a tight squeeze and then sets you back down. What are all of you doing here? Sorry. My name's Rudbeck. I'm the Kalen of the Summersongs. You can just call me Rudbeck, is fine. Who are you people? Well, I know you, Ilni, and I know you, Cori, but why don't you introduce me?
Hi, Rudbeck. This is my adventuring party. I met them on the natural plane. This is Gwen, Caelum, and Arjhan.
So,
Whoa.
nice tats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and he turns around and, like, tries to show them off a little bit, and the tattoos that, like, come down over his shoulders, you realize are actually part of one singular piece. On his back, towards the center top, it looks like a large stag's head with a third central eye, and the antlers actually come up and wrap onto the forward-facing tattoos that you see from the front.
Boss, this is mine. And she lifts her shirt and shows him her back tattoo.
Whoa, that's awesome!
Yeah!
What does your tattoo say? Dude, what's your tattoo say?
And Rudbeck, like, he, like, squats down a little bit so that way he's not, like, looking down on you. It's very much like, that's some intricate ink work. That's incredible.
Oh, yours too, man. Did they do it with a stick, or is there, like, magic involved?
Little bit of magic, mostly stick poke.
Nice. I give him Nux.
Yeah, and he, like, you see now that this, like, he's giving you Nux with his gauntleted fist. And it is a very sleek design. It almost looks chitinous in its plating rather than being more of a standard metal plate. And there are, as he gives you Nux, you realize that there is a flipping mechanism on it that keep these two wicked-looking claws set in place, but you think that if he were to squeeze them a particular way, those claws would end up shooting out into more of like a puncturing style apparatus.
That is so badass.
And he looks, don't even worry about it. And as he says that, he kind of like waves his hand a little bit, and you see it glow for a brief moment and then disappear. And then on his right ring finger is this very ornate looking, almost like a tiger's eye diamond or a tiger's eye gem that has been carved into a ring that he wears.
Dude, fucking magic's cool sometimes.
And he nods. And then as he nods, you see his like he pauses a little bit and his eyes get like a little bit more tentative, and he leans forward just a second, and he walks over to the edge of this clearing where you guys are at. It's okay, little guy, it's okay. And you see him reach into a bush, and when he comes out, there is a small humanoid looking creature wearing this little wooden mask on it that seems to be like holding on to his neck, and he is just kind of cradling this creature. The Chewingas of the forest get pretty scared whenever those big guys show up, but it's okay, buddy.
That's fucking adorable. So, like, you guys know each other? How?
He's the Kalen of the Summersongs.
Yeah.
The Summer Kalen.
Yeah.
Their work
But did
friends.
you, like, go to school together?
Not really. I kind of only went to school with Cypress. He's been doing this for a long time.
Oh, so you're, like, old.
What? And you see that he's like tearing apart pieces of bread and tossing them into the brush where more of these Chewingas are coming out to take pieces of.
Maybe, like,
About as old as an elf can be.
I mean, I'm a little over 200 years young, but it's not so bad.
solid.
Cause I look great. And he like flexes, making a motion towards the treetops.
Hell yeah. Age is just a number, dude.
I suppose I never thought of it that way.
Namaste.
No wonder I don't like my age. I hate numbers.
Dude, me too!
Oh, he is a himbo.
Huh?
Cori just kind of leans towards Caelum and Arjhan. She's just like, I knew that they would get along. Redbeck,
Oh,
how close is it to the next town?
well, the next town, probably at least a couple days journey. It's, I mean, there aren't really more towns going deeper into the woods.
Right, but how far are the Summer Kings?
Oh, if it's the Summer Kings you're looking for, I mean, we could always go together. They're only, I'd say, he like looks at his wrist. There's nothing there. A couple hours away at most.
There's just a sundial there.
If
Alright.
that's,
Is
were
this
you
place
guys
going-
sent by your mom?
Yes.
I see.
Oh, I'm getting a weird energy here. Are you not friends with her?
Oh no, we're friends. I was just really confused as to why you were so deep in these jungles. I thought that you were going to be heading towards winter.
Yes, that is the plan, but first we wanted to go and talk to the Summer Kings and make sure that they were on board with the whole evacuation.
Yeah. It's actually why I was going there myself, to try and talk some sense into them.
Well, excellent. We're going to help you then.
Oh, thanks. You guys look pretty battered. I'm not going to lie.
Dude.
I could use a breather, personally.
All right, well, I mean, the creatures here won't attack you as long as I'm here with you, so how about this? I'll make sure that the Chewingas know to let everybody else know that we are in a safe space.
I would very much appreciate that.
And Arjhan only lets out like a deep sigh standing next to you, and she does not seem like her personality type and Rudbeck's get along very very well together.
I can relate.
But yeah, so you guys are more than welcome to take a short rest if you would like in this general area. So you got an hour of just downtime. Spend it as you like. Use up them hit dies.
Okay. We can't prepare spells until a long rest, right?
That is correct.
All right.
I can arcane recovery though.
I'll be back for you later. At some point during the rest, Cori will approach Redbeck. Probably like screwing around with chewingas.
Yeah. He's like tossing them up into the air and then catching them again, and then others he tosses up and then they just stay in a tree.
Oh no. They just hang out.
Yep.
All right. Cori will just kind of like walk up behind him and say, "What's it like?"
What do you mean? Playing with these guys? Super fun. Love doing it. They're always into playtime.
I meant the primordials. What's it like being a full Kalen and being connected to them?
Well, Pralnor and I get along pretty well. They just want me to do my best at remembering everybody's story, which can be a little difficult sometimes, but, well, you learn mnemonic devices sometimes. Like Scorchbane is the comet, and when you see a star at night, it's just a dragon, so you should try and run for shelter if you can. It's not really a mnemonic device now that I think about it, but it's pretty accurate. All things considered, it's not bad. Generally, when winter's not, like, trying to take over the island. Pralnor is my friend. Am I allowed to say that? Is it like a conflict of interest?
From my understanding, I think it's fine. I don't know. You're supposed to tell me.
So, think about it like you already know what you're supposed to be doing. And it's your first day on the job, and you don't know, like, you got hired for something that you feel like you're a little bit out of your league for, right? Like, even though you've been training for it for over 100 years. And then you get that job, and it's your first day, and you still need your orientation. But your buddy's the one who's giving you orientation. They can help you along with the process and let you know, because they got years and years and years and years of job experience. That's what Pralnor has. So all of the kings, I didn't really know them before I started all of my Kalen duties, but I know most of them now. And things, are getting a little bit difficult because archfey are coming over, and I don't really know them very well, but I'm trying my best, and that's the part that counts.
Well, maybe I can help with that as well.
Oh, that actually would be really helpful. I know that Scorchbane's really upset with some of the archfey, and so is Therese, but I can't remember who they're upset at.
Is Scorchbane one of the kings?
Oh, yeah. No, he's a terrifying individual. Honestly, if it weren't for the sacred meeting place, I would do my best to stay away from him.
What are the names of all the kings?
All the kings that are going to be at this meeting. Because to list you the name of each and every single king, we would be here for days, let me tell you. And then you got to worry about some of the dukes. And they're like would-be kings. They're just waiting for another king to go away so that way they can take over their title. But
I
they're
didn't know there would be dukes.
the ones that we are going to be interacting with are Kessin of the Deep. Big old mushroom guy. He's super fun to hang around with.
Is that his name?
Kessin?
Oh, okay. No, sorry. I thought Kessin and Big Old Mushroom Guy were two different people. Go on.
No, Kessin of the Deep is a big mushroom guy.
Right. Okay.
Then there's Resic the Earthshaker. Also, would not want to get on their bad side. They're like a giant turtle thing. kind of the reason, well, Resic's one of the reasons that we don't really have towns so much deeper into the Feywild. And then there's Scorchbane, who's going to be there, and Scorchbane is, well, he's kind of like your friend, that Arjhan fellow, but like much bigger. Have you ever seen a dragon before?
Once or twice.
Well, he's like that, but like he glows in the night sky, like he radiates heat off of himself and likes to picture himself the one true king of the skies in the Summer Isle, which, I mean, to his credit, he's very strong. I've fought him a couple times. We usually end in a stalemate. Scorchbane hates it, but then he leaves.
Do you get along well with the kings?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for the most part. Like, I would say, again, I'm bad at numbers, so like 70%. Like anywhere between 40 to 70.
All right. Those are good odds, good numbers.
Oh, thanks.
Like-
I picked him at random.
Cori's gonna like look over at Caelum and be all like, have you got all that?
For the most part, yeah.
All right. Good.
Shit, was
Steven,
I
could you
supposed to
send
be
me the
taking
names?
notes?
What?
Was I supposed to be taking notes?
I don't know.
I mean, if you want.
Is
Hey,
this gonna
Steven.
come up on the test, or are they gonna get offended if I don't know their names?
I was supposed to give you guys a test.
No.
Oh shit.
Steven, could you send those names
Yeah.
in chat? Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Boo-boo. I will post them in questions for the courts.
Thanks, babe.
Yes. So, there is Kessin of the Deep.
Gar of the Funk.
He's a mushroom man.
He's a fun guy.
Then
Ha!
there is Resic the Earth Shaker.
Twirtle.
Big turtle. And then Scorchbane the Comet.
Oh damn.
And then, not a king, but an ambassador will be joining you. Her name is Therese. She's an Aarakocra.
Ooh.
Yes, she
I
is the
love her.
ambassador of the Winged Ones.
Cool. Cori will take her party aside. And, she just kind of like stands there for a second, sort of rubs her hands together. And then she says, all right, I'm going to do it.
I'm sorry, we're gonna do what?
Ow. Put the ring on.
Oh, yeah, do it.
All right. She gets out the ring and she kind of like holds it, looks at it, and she's like, this feels unceremonious.
You want me to perform a ceremony?
Do you want to? What ceremony is appropriate for this?
Brr. Let's see. Well, there's atonement, blessing water, coming of age, maybe coming of age, dedication, but that's in the service to one of my deities. Funeral rites might be a bit of a faux pas. And maybe you want to reserve wedding for when you're actually getting married.
I
Oh, I've heard of people who just like churn out wedding ceremonies like it's fucking candy on Hollantide.
appreciate the effort.
In Las Vegas.
How about I just reiterate what I know? She just looks down at the ring and she says, from death there is growth. Phalaris may not be dead, but he is not here. I am the Kalen of the Fallen Leaves. She puts on the ring.
I give you guidance.
Okay. And as you put on the ring, it's still going to take some time to attune.
Like over a short rest?
Yeah. I mean, short rest is enough time to attune. Or at least that's how I've always thought it was. If it takes longer than an hour to attune, I have been playing this game wrong for over 5 years. And as you attempt to attune to it, something seems off with this ring. Like you were expecting a flood of power and then to be completely enamored with the powers of fall, and you feel a connection, but there isn't really anything like swelling that Rudbeck's connection with their ring seems to be more reminiscent of. And Cori, as you attune, you hear a sound like groaning trees, like boughs that are being parted, and a follow-up voice that says, "The one that ran. It's good to see you again."
I may have run, but I'm back.
Yes, I was hoping so. It seemed like you had quite potential. And you are guessing that this is the voice of Ryth, the sentient archfey, or primordial archfey that lives within the ring.
It's good to meet you.
Likewise.
I look forward to working with you.
I look forward to learning about you first. Work can be difficult without a layer of trust, wouldn't you agree?
Understandable.
So I'm going to speak a truth to you. I am weak. Getting you out of winter, when Vinru first came into power, took as much energy as I could muster at the time. You must take me to Duskridge.
All right.
Once there, I can regain the powers of the autumnal fae that I once held sway over. But it has been too long since I have been in my domain.
I see.
Till then, I will offer you guidance and assistance where I can. But I will not be at my true strength until we arrive, and until the ceremony there is complete to accept me.
All right. I can do this.
I believe that you'll put the right foot forward.
Which foot is the right one?
A noble question indeed.
I think that's where that's the best place to leave her.
Yep.
Swoop.
Yep, so your like mental conversation with this ring ends and your party is, I'm assuming, waiting around with bated breath for like explosion of magical flavor to erupt before them, but nothing is happening.
You feeling all right?
Cori looks up, just kind of gives a a weary smile and she says, "Another quest."
Can't
What?
seem to get rid of them.
Quest where? To what?
Duskridge. We need to go to the Autumn Isle.
Yes, of course.
The Autumn Primordial was weakened when they delivered me from the dangers of winter.
Oh. We like them.
Yes. Yes,
Solid.
we do.
Okay.
But first, let's take care of the kings, and then we will decide our next step.
Well, is there going to be food at this event?
Cori looks to Rudbeck.
Redbeck, who you guys had gone off into your own small cluster party to discuss and attune to the ring and all of this jazz. They're just back playing with Chewingas again. And when you ask if there's going to be food, Rudbeck just sort of looks at you and says, well, I mean, if you... How to put this in a non-morbid sense. The food might be you if you piss them off.
So I shouldn't talk, Cori?
That depends. Let me figure out what the whole vibe is. It might be that you would be the best negotiator of all of us, depending on how this goes.
Really? I mean, yes, of course. I mean, I am a chieftain. I know what I'm talking about.
Caelum hands Gwen some beef jerky.
Oh, God, thank you.
Okay. And Ilni during this time has been making sure that all of her gear is correct. Like, making sure that her bow is in working order, getting more arrows, that sort of thing. And yeah, she is pretty quiet throughout most of this journey. Doesn't really know, like, knows the way to the Amphitheater of the Kings, but so does Redbeck. So they have both kind of taken on a leadership role, maneuvering your party. And as much as you can see it, like, weighing on her, Redbeck knows this jungle better than she does. She was hired to be your guide, but then just a himbo jumped out of the woods and was like, don't worry, I got you, and is doing a much better job of actually leading you through these areas. So she is more taking a secondary role on this one.
God, if I had a nickel for every time that happened to me.
So, and at this point, as well as you're walking, the Chewingas are all kind of walking along with you. So, Arjhan, you look down and you see one of these Chewingas is like looking up towards you, just sort of like waddle running. And it has never seen a creature like you before, and seems almost enamored. And if you stop and look down at it, it will put its hands up towards you.
Puppies?
I'll reach down with one claw and like try to pick it up.
It will like climb onto your arm.
Ow, ow, ow.
It doesn't really weigh anything. Like maybe the weight of a leaf. And then it crawls, like, it's like koala bearing sloth style onto your arm, and then will try and like maneuver itself onto your back.
It's like
Don't
the feeling
worry.
of a spider crawling on you.
He won't hurt you.
The Chewinga or Arjhan?
Either. Both. Both. Cori looks at Arjhan seriously.
Okay.
And the Chewinga is just like hanging onto your back, head resting next to yours over your shoulder, and it's just seeing what life is like from so high up.
Cori just kind of smiles at it and then like pokes a finger at him. And she says, "This is considered a blessing."
I feel very blessed.
You are #blessed.
And the Chewinga sort of like bumps its head against your large melon.
Does everybody feel rested?
One can be out here.
Then
Yeah, I feel fine.
Then we should go.
Okay. This is all happening while you guys are making your way to the amphitheater, so don't worry. You are in the process of go. And it takes a couple hours of travel, but thankfully, all things considered, the dangers are much more notable now, and Redbeck seems to be able to more easily maneuver you through the jungles again. And eventually, as night is beginning to fall, the sky turning from a very nice, vibrant blue color, like it is like the perfect summer day here, and again, as the sun's going down, it turns into a perfect summer night. And you begin to see the moon starting to rise. There are stars that are filling the sky. And you are coming up to a lip of what looks to be a large bowl. And as you are cresting over this hill, you see that there are... it's like a natural growth pattern of large steps that lead down into the center of this bowl, and this ancient stone structure presents itself as this amphitheater. And as you arrive, Reddick will, he doesn't really like introduce it or say anything ceremonious. He just crests over it and begins walking down towards the amphitheater. And Ilni sort of like mutters to herself, like, well, we could have gotten here faster if we had just taken a left back however long ago. It seems like she had, again, her own path on how to get here, but that was not the path that Reddick ended up taking. And there doesn't seem to be anyone here except for your group currently. And Reddick will hop down into the amphitheater and will cup his hands around his mouth, and he lets out a incredible yell. It seems like it is... You've heard him laugh throughout your time walking with him, and it seems like he is a very loud individual anyways, but this is much more of a call to arms style yell, and it booms through the woods. And then Reddick just like hands on his hips, a Chewinga crawls down him and then like rests on the ground and begins to scurry away. The one on your back, Arjhan, also like slides down, does a little like slide off your tail onto the ground as well, and then also begins to leave the vicinity. As you all hear, or can feel rather, the earth beginning to tremble once again. And on the left-hand side, you see that part of the lip of the ridge of this amphitheater begins to almost swell and begins breaking, and you can hear the sound of foliage kind of getting destroyed, for lack of a better word. And as it is all becoming unearthed, you see that a creature is not arriving through the top of the foliage, but is rather emerging from the earth itself. And it is this large turtle. And this turtle, as you are looking at it, is almost the entire size of this amphitheater. They are an incredibly massive creature that you are guessing would fall under the colossal size category. And it just sort of looks down towards your group. From the right-hand side, you see that there is, again, kind of a rushing, a rumbling from the woods, and tendrils shoot around several of these trees, and this form just sort of writes itself into frame. And it is a orangish green like creature that has almost like a leaf pattern over its face, but they just have these tendrils that seem to drape down from them with these patches of fungus that seem to grow about them. And as they move, everywhere that they touch leaves more of this trail of interconnected mushrooms. And you are guessing that that is Kalen. Kalen of the Deep, the mushroom man that Ruddick had once spoken of. Through the skies, another figure arises, this time humanoid-sized, if not a little bit smaller. It is an Aarakocra female who has white feathers that are kind of swooped back almost in a J styling. And they have a staff with them. And upon the staff, you see that there are like a collection of bones and skulls and other sorts of things that they just sort of keep with them. But they are wearing very loose-fitting jewelry, as well as just sort of have a very loose-fitting, like, not really linen. It's more of like a fancy burlap that they seem to be wearing out of, again, more so function rather than form. And in the night sky, you see what looks like a shooting star off in the distance. But that shooting star is getting closer. It is getting bigger. And it is very, very red. And as this shooting star comes closer towards you, you see that it is not a star at all, but it is in fact, again, another one of these colossal-sized creatures in the form of a red dragon. A red dragon that looks much, much older and much more ancient than Rasa did when you met her in the astral plane. This looks like a truly ancient creature. And as it arrives and swoops up, you can see that from the intersection of each one of its incredibly thick red scales is just this glowing red light that seems to come with it. And it swoops up and then lands down and looks into the bowl of this amphitheater. And it looks like these kings have arrived. And Ruddick greets all of them in turn, starting with Resic, the Earthshaker, to which this large turtle creature just has this like it's like that guttural like reverberating sound that comes from reptiles a lot of the time. And but it nods as Ruddick addresses it, and then when they address Kalen, Kalen also kind of nods a little bit, and you hear what sounds like a dozen or so voices in Sylvan speaking back to it. Cori, do you speak Sylvan? Does anybody else speak Sylvan? As this mushroom collective creature responds back in this multitude of voices, just acknowledging the summer Kalen. And Ruddick then speaks to Therese, who also acknowledges her place among this council. And finally, Ruddick motions over towards Scorchbane. And when Scorchbane is mentioned, they glow twice as bright for a brief moment, and then you watch that brightness sink in, trail up their throat, and they rear their heads up toward the sky as this large bout of fire just sort of illuminates the area around you. For a moment, it almost looks like daylight is back in again. But then, as soon as it is then gone. And Scorchbane looks down and says,
I thought you said that you would bring them, Ruddick. Were you not able to find the Mistwalker?
Well, he's a little bit harder to find than I initially thought, but that's not why I brought you all here today. And Therese sort of like furrows their brow a little bit, and then says in Sylvan as well. That is exactly why you called us. You said that you were going to get Meriden together. That way we could all... You didn't actually do it, did you? All right, so there were a few complications. Again, he's a lot harder to find, but I tracked him down, and Scorchbane snarls and yells in Draconic fallacy, which Arjhan and Caelum, you both understand. And Scorchbane says,
We've all known where Meriden is. He's on Mount Rabask. Now, why haven't you found him?
And Rudbeck says, I'm trying. It's a little bit harder than I thought that it was. And even Resic, like, grumbles something. They speak Terran. Do any of you speak Terran? And Redbeck just sort of like, all right, this is not going as well as I thought that it was. Look, I'll find Meriden. I will find them.
That's what you've told us before. What makes us believe you this time?
Hello?
Who is this one?
Hi, I'm Cori. Kalen of the Fallen Leaves. I was wondering if I could, as a neutral party, sort of go between in this argument. What seems to be the problem?
And when you introduce yourself as Kalen of the Fallen Leaves, there is a pause. Also, what language are you speaking back to these creatures?
I think that the common lingua franca, as it will, is Sylvan right now.
Okay. And the dragon, Scorchbane, looks at you and says,
Get your Fae under control.
And Therese looks over towards you and then like squints a little bit and sees that there are more individuals than just Rudbeck and yourself here. It seems like she didn't even take register of the Dragon Man, the Shadarkai, or the halfling behind. And she says, in common this time, Kalen of the Fallen Leaves, and who might these be?
This is the Four Keeps. They hailed from the material plane. They were helping me on a quest.
I see. As Scorchbane said, why have you not gotten your Fae under check, Kalen of the Autumn Isles?
I apologize. I just took on this responsibility. I'm still catching up.
Well, let me make something very clear for you and your quest companions. One of your Fae has come to our isle and is in the process of making it very difficult for our creatures to fly. Are you familiar with the web layer? The Navigator of the Deep. Make a history check. The rest of you
Sounds
can
like a
also
spider.
make history checks if you would like.
It's a 7 for me, Doug.
It's 24 for me, dog.
I have no idea what they're saying.
No,
They're speaking
the-
common, right?
Oh,
Aarakocra is speaking
Yeah, we
in common.
switched to common.
I don't think it's just Gwen's just like, Are they insulting us? I can't tell.
So
Just a
close
little
to a
bit.
natural 20, but it's an 8.
Okay. All right. So, Caelum, you are the only person, surprisingly enough, who has heard of the web layer. As are most creatures in the Feywild, some of them will gain a high enough renown that their story is carried from the Feywild to the material plane. And most of the time, it's never the good Fey that you hear about. And the web layer is certainly not one of those good Fey. It is a massive spider
All right.
Thought so.
Bye, Connor.
that lives in the shadows, in the darkness between the floorboards, and as far as you know, it is a creature that most people just assume is a fairy tale. That it is just something that mothers use to scare their children into staying in their beds overnight. However, in the Feywild, and with the severity that these Fey are speaking their name, you are guessing that that is, again, there's a little bit more truth to this fairy tale than you would like.
So, you're telling us you have an arachnid problem.
And Scorchbane, at this point, once again, breathes a bout of fire up into the air and says,
It's more than a problem. It's a menace.
but they're saying it in Draconic. They can understand Common. They just choose not to speak it.
He'll turn and speak Draconic to Scorchbane. And in what way are they inhibiting your flight, Lord Scorchbane?
And Scorchbane looks towards you, and you see them get down off of the perch that they have made, and they walk into the bowl until this massive maw is directly in front of you.
By what right do you claim to speak to me? We are not on the same level.
Considering you're having problems with this arachnid, I think it's an even playing
I
field.
will eat you.
And as they say that, Reddick just, oh, okay, let's calm down. He's not gonna eat you.
I will eat him.
No, you won't. 'Cause that'd be bad.
No, I think he's gonna eat him.
These are visitors. Let's be okay.
Wait. I'm gonna lean over to someone who's understanding the conversation because one of the
It's
people is
Ilni.
speaking in Draconic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna lean over to Ilni. Should I be threatening someone in this moment?
So remember earlier when you asked if there was going to be food at this event?
Yeah, and I was told that it might be us.
Your friend is very close to becoming more than a snack.
Well, he can fucking try, but like, should I say something?
No.
Okay, I don't need to
would-
do a show of force or something.
Are you familiar with monkeys?
I've seen one or two, yes.
If a monkey bares its teeth at you, the thing you are not supposed to do is bare your teeth back at the monkey.
But I could kick a monkey's ass.
This is a monkey that would tear your face off very quickly. It would eat you.
I don't understand, but I will trust your judgment.
And she just has like this slight dejected sigh. All right. Arachnid problem. Said that the web layer is here. That's not good.
No.
And Therese just... I believe what Scorchbane is trying to explain. We are used to dealing with the spiders of summer. They are very upsetting, to say the least, and I do not like finding my kin in their webs. drained of all sustenance. However, the spiders of fall have begun hunting us from the sky. They are jumping from the canopy in multitudes to take us out and drag us back down into their lairs. We cannot fly over sections of forest without worry that these arachnids will simply make a meal of us.
I am afraid of no spider.
Then why is it that you do not fly over their area either?
Because I do not wish to set fire to the woods.
I see. That's why. And Scorchbane's head, like, pivots over to Therese and begins snarling, and Rudbeck just, okay. Look. Things are getting a little tense. I can see that tensions are a bit high. We need to find Meriden, who's on Mount Rabask. We need to deal the arachnids. We're getting pulled in some different directions here. So unless we want to move through the Spiderwood to Mount Rabask, then we could possibly tuber. And, like, they're about to use the tubers and then look towards Therese.
Two
Two fish, one spear.
Rudbeck.
Yes, Arjhan.
When both of these tasks are completed, do you believe that the Summer Kings would be more receptive to our purpose here?
And he takes a deep breath and...
I'm saying that out loud so that everybody can hear it, but knowing that I'm not addressing anybody.
Yeah. And Scorchbane, like, their eyes narrow a little bit looking at you, Arjhan, but they seem like they're listening. Therese also seems like they're listening towards you. Rissik is just kind of like chilling up at the top. Every once in a while they'll say something in Terran, but it seems like most individuals don't speak Terran, so they're having a difficult time making means. And Kessen is making their way into the amphitheater as well to try and get at least a better look at this group that has found itself here. And the multitude of mushrooms says, "We will not fight for the surface without Meriden." And speaking that in Sylvan, Ilni will translate for you, Arjhan, and you, Gwen, as well as Caelum, for pretty much anyone who doesn't speak Sylvan. And Kessen continues to say, "If winter comes to the top layer, we will exist below. This is not our fight." And Reddick says, "No, it's everyone's fight. If we can't stop winter, it's not just going to be the top layer, buddy. It's going to be everybody." And once again, Kessen says, "Do not speak down to us as if we are friends, Kalen. We came here under the assumption that Meriden would be with you. You have failed to provide Meriden." And the Aarakocra, Therese, also says, if we could get rid of these arachnids, we would be able to stand a better chance. Flight paths would open again that have not been open for over a year. We would be able to move the Fae quickly across the Isle. If it is escape that you are after, this is something we would be able to do. And Scorchbane also is more on the side of Kessen, where it seems like they just don't have. They hold respect for no individual other than Meriden.
Would this be a diplomatic mission or an extermination?
For which side?
The arachnids.
I don't think there would be any negotiating with them. The stories I've read, the stories I've heard about the web layer. Someone once told me that stories of good fae never come to the material plane. It's always the bad ones.
They've been driven out of their home. The best thing that we could do for them is to return, first of all, return Autumn back to its former glory, but yes, they don't belong here.
Driven out? They were not driven out, Kalen of the Autumn Isle. As Kessen spoke of, below the surface is still safe from Winter's Bane. It will take a long time for the chill to reach below. The web layer. They have simply moved a hunting ground. They do this not for survival, but for sport!
And as they say that, they glow vibrantly again.
Well then.
To remove them would be a service.
All right.
And there is a grumbling of Resic from the corner, and the other kings look towards them. And then Ruddick says, "That's a good point. We know where Meriden is. And we know where the arachnids are. I can try and track down Meriden." And at that, there is like a collected groaning from the other kings, and he's like, "No, I swear, if you just give me a little bit more time, if I just have a few more days, I could do this."
Do you need help?
And he says, "Again, I just need a couple more days. For a guy who walks through the mists, he's pretty difficult to actually track down."
That's the main reason why he might be called a mistwalker, because he's very hard to track down.
Yeah, we can find him though.
Rudbeck won't be doing this alone. We're here to help.
And Therese nods. 2 Kalens and a set of adventurers. This seems like something you should be able to do, Rudbeck. And Rudbeck just sort of like He's not used to everyone coming at him all at once, even though he was the one who called the meeting.
This could have been an email.
This could have been an email.
This could have been a sending.
It's true. And Ilni steps forward and says, we need to start focusing on evacuation. Are there any of you who are capable of helping us out with this? And Scorchbane, like, puts their head back and says,
I would rather die fighting than retreat to Spring.
and Ilni says, well, then you're more than welcome to it. But if any others of you would like to survive and see this through to the end, we need to start thinking tactically. Kessen, and she looks towards the collection, this Myconid collection. If we were able to find Meriden, would you come with us to Spring? And Kessen nods. And then Resic, if we were able to find Meriden, would you come with us to Spring? And Resic gives a large, gentle nod. And Therese, and then to Therese, would the Winged Ones join us in Spring if we were to also get Meriden? And she says, there are some who only follow the Mistwalker's directive. It would be an incredible help, yes. And then Ilni looks back towards Scorchbane and says, you can die defending this place, for all I care. But if Meriden tells you to leave, will you leave? And Scorchbane snarls, and then calls her a very not kind name in Draconic, and says,
if that was necessary, yes.
And then Ilni looks back towards your group and says, then it looks like we need to find Meriden. In order to make this safe, we also need to deal with the arachnids.
Excellent. Then that's what we'll do. Let's go find Meriden.
It is already
Who
late.
is Meriden?
As you...
Cori
yeah.
actually says that.
So, as you ask about who Meriden is, make a history check.
Intelligence-based checks. 15.
15. So, you know, based on what you have heard, Meriden is a large shadowy creature that is as old as the Summer Isle itself. When there are talks of the Kings of Summer, regardless of where it is through the ages, at what timepiece, Meriden the Mistwalker is always brought up. They are always there. They always have been. No one has ever seen Meriden up close. Whenever any scholars, adventurers, anyone has gone off to find this creature, the closest that they will get is just seeing a lumbering humanoid form with a twin set of horns coming from their head, just trudging through the mist. If they are called out to, Meriden will sometimes like turn to look in their direction, but they will never come closer. They have never let themselves be close to anyone other than the other kings.
All right.
And it seems like not being close to anyone has allowed them to survive for ages.
Okay. Cori will turn to the Summer Kings, give them each a bow, and will leave them with a blessing in Ignan.
And when you speak in Ignan, Resic just... You see, like, as much as a turtle can smile. Like, they get a little bit happier. And they speak in Ignan back to you. And
Oh no!
they say, a blessing to you and your crew. And then you see them kind of like recede their head back into this like earth-style mantle of a shell that they have as they nestle back down into the earth. And any of the uprooted trees and foliage that were there with them seem to kind of right themselves back into place. Therese and, well, first off, Scorchbane, seeing that this meeting has been adjourned, is just going to shoot up into the night sky and then fly away, this same glowing red comet through the sky. And Therese is going to wait until morning to properly fly through the night sky, as she doesn't really have dark vision. These are a little scary. Don't like that. But Kessin will also like nod towards your group and then make their retreat back through the woods, leaving behind this trail of... It's like a trail of fungi. Like, they aren't like full-sized myconids by any means, but there is just this ongoing fibrous path that follows behind them, almost like a snail leaving a trail, but it seems like these are just interconnected bits of fungus. As the group all dissipates from there, except for Therese. Rudbeck, Ilni will actually go over to Therese, and the two of them will start talking about what to do as far as evacuation plans if you are able to find Meriden. And Rudbeck comes over to your group and claps his hands together and says, well, I think that went pretty well.
Was that it going well?
Well, it could have been a lot worse.
I mean, I guess we could
Does
have
it
been eaten.
typically get much worse?
Cori will punch him in the arm. You could have told us that you needed somebody.
I don't need anybody's help. I mean, like, I'm a Kalen. I am the Kalen of the Summersongs.
Yes, well, there's 4 of us for a reason. You need to ask for help.
Yeah. And I don't hear you singing, so...
What?
The summer songs.
Oh,
Or is that like a metaphor?
You know what? It's fine. We do this together. It's great. It's gonna be fine.
All right, well, in any case, thank you for agreeing to help me out with this.
Whatevs, man.
It's what we're here for.
All right, well, the jungles are pretty dangerous late during the evening, so I'd recommend that maybe we head out first thing in the morning. So take your rests, get back into tip-top fighting shape, and then first thing tomorrow, Spiderwood.
Question about the Spiderwood. Are there a lot of spiders? Or just the one big one?
So
Is it both? Oh my gosh, it's going to be both, isn't it?
There are... We already had really big bugs. There wasn't really like a king or a queen, as far as Summer was concerned. For the spiders, they just sort of were doing their own thing. And then, when the web layer came over, she sort of became their leader and took over that wood for herself. And
Did
her
she also
children.
bring... Oh, she also did bring an army of autumn spiders.
There are so many. It wasn't that bad a year ago.
Like, a hopeless amount.
Well, I wouldn't say hopeless, because that could infer that we won't be able to do what we set out. I would say that there is an oppressive amount of spiders.
Got it.
Good.
Well,
All right. Well, at least
we're
they squish
supposed
when
to-
you kill them.
So
Sorry.
we're supposed to fight oppression, so let's do it.
Hey,
Yay
Alright.
against tyranny.
hey.
Oppression.
Sorry.
All right.
Specifically that.
So things to keep in mind. Spider webs, flammable. Do not
Whoa.
light them on fire.
Oh.
This is an entire section of wood. If they get lit on fire, a controlled burn is one thing.
Second thing, spider webs carry a vibration, so they'll know when we get there.
Third thing, spider webs are hard to see, so be on the lookout.
Oh, not these ones.
Oh. Strike that.
There are, again, an oppressive amount of spiders.
You know, I've never really had a problem running into spiders' webs because I'm so much shorter than everyone else. Usually they hit them first. It's actually pretty great.
Do you think if we take down the web layer, then the rest of the spiders will stand down?
Or they could whip up into a frenzy and attack us.
Is like the web layer like an actual like physical thing, or is it just a term we're using? Because I thought it was something that I don't think it is, and I didn't want to ask questions during the council meeting. So
Well,
Metaphor?
her real name is Vanica, the Navigator of the Deep.
Damn.
oh, that the web layer is that person.
Yes.
It's not an actual layer. Oh, okay. Well, I'm
La-
going to write this down.
Layer.
Oh, layer, like a person who lays down wet. Oh,
You got it.
LB didn't know either.
It took me a little bit too.
Sorry, what was her name?
Her name.
Ogres have layers and spiders have layers. Ogres and spiders are alike.
Her name is Vanica, or Vanikas, the Navigator of the Deep, and I will post that in the questions for the courts chat as well. And what better time to post that than right now as we go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who's decided to stick with us as we go into Face Spiderland in the Summer Isles. What's the
Did you say
worst thing?
face spider?
Face Spider, not Phase Spider.
Web layer.
Web layer, not that layer, the other layer, the layer. But we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. Ready spaghetti, everybody, and welcome back.
Steven!
Ah!
So, all things considered, is every action Vanicus takes a layer action?
You guys are going to find out when you get there.
Because she's a web layer?
You know, that was hilarious, but honestly, I feel like he kind of turned it around on us.
Can we just go in and delete that layer?
No, because there are so
Aren't you
many
right?
of them that as you try and select
can't
it,
find it?
you just can't
No.
find it. And you did
No.
the thing where you didn't rename the layers, so it's like
No.
layer 38, layer 37, layer 36, and there's no good way to distinguish them!
Or the
If you-
worst part, like you renamed them, but you just mashed your keyboard.
If you took off one of her legs and then wrapped her up in a blanket, which should be a 7-layer spider burrito.
Who's to
That's a
say?
stretch.
Ah, God, I tried really hard, you guys.
Legs. And with that, we're back. Hello, everybody. So, you guys just got done talking with the Kings of Summer and the ambassador of the Winged Ones. The ambassador is choosing to stay behind, hang out with all of you because she can't see at night, so that makes flying a mite bit difficult. But is there anything that you all would like to do over the evening? Ilni is currently speaking with Therese to try and come up with a good, at least, escape plan, possible ways of getting the individuals from the Isle of Summer to the Isle of Spring, as that was Ilni's job, was to secure routes to make sure everybody could at least hold off the dangers of winter from a secure location.
Caelum will be reading from his spell book.
Gwen and Redbick are flexing together for a little while.
Okay.
Is that what they call it?
I'm taken, thank you.
Sorry. Cori's gonna switch to, well, no, I'll wait until morning, but she will eventually switch to autumn form.
Okay. And then Arjhan, was there anything that you wanted to do during the evening? No. Okay. So, Caelum, as you are studying your spell book and working through your next large magical breakthrough, you are thinking a lot about the information that has kind of been given to you over the last set of days. Primarily, one of the things that you have a very difficult time letting go of, or at least like mentally trying to navigate yourself away from, is that you were told to find Corvain, but you weren't able to find Corvain when you were navigating through your meditative space. And that has kind of been plaguing you a little bit because there's been nary a situation that you haven't been able to like find that pathway, find the exit to that labyrinthine thought. And one of the other things that you find yourself thinking of as well is, Cori, have you revealed to anybody else the name of the Raven Queen?
No.
Okay. Sounds good. So, Caelum, you are thinking about this struggle trying to find Corvain, and you feel yourself drifting into a meditative state. It's been a long day. It's been hot. It's been warm. Your friends got thrashed a bit. You also got thrashed, but thankfully, like, it was just a magic off a duck's back. It was fine. Definitely made things a little bit easier for you when you had Tensor's transformation. But as you begin meditating, you begin to dream. And this isn't something that you have felt like you've been able to do since before you entered into Lichdom. At least something that is dreamlike, I would say. Normally you have a lot more agency in these, but this dream feels like what Arjhan describes as dreaming, what Gwen has described as a dream, what you've heard of dreams from others, and what Cori has made mention of when she reflects on previous lives. This seems like a recollection of the past. And the only reason that you can really kind of point to that is that you remember very recently what it was like being 14 after a magical mishap, and your body is even smaller than that in this dream. And you are in this dream with a young girl roughly around your same age. She has flame red hair, and the two of you are laughing as you look down, and cradled in your arms are what looks like a handful of sweets. And you know, in the context of this dream, that you've taken these. You didn't pay for them, but you did the thing that kids sometimes do, where they just grab stuff from the stalls and then run off because you're having a good time with your friend. And as you carry these sweets, you run outside of town and enter into a stretch of woods to enjoy these sweets. And as you do, conversing with this friend of similar age, you begin to eat all of them, and your stomach's full. You begin to explore and play in the woods until it gets closer to around twilight. And while you are crossing a river, you feel your foot slip on a wetted rock, and you feel yourself falling backwards. And the sense of falling is something that is familiar to you in these dreams, but this has a very abrupt stop. As you are falling backwards, your gaze going from your friend to the sky above in a swift motion. And as you fall, the last thing that you hear is a scream followed by a cracking noise as your vision goes black. And for a moment, everything is dark. There's no feeling, there's no sound, just the peace that comes with the sudden end of a journey, a peace that you as Caelum have experienced before. And then you hear it. And it is sweeter than any candied apple or confectionery. You hear it. You hear her call your name back from the darkness. And you hear a worried voice say, "Corvain, please." You feel drops of rain on your face, but you don't remember it raining. And as your eyes open, the sky is fading from orange to the lavender tone of early evening. And this girl is staring over you, tears streaming from her eyes with the most nervous smile that you have ever seen. And through broken breaths, she embraces you into a hug and begins to cry into your already wet shoulder. And as you comfort her, the only words that you can find are, "No matter what happens, I will always find my way back to you." And that is where the dream ends.
I think Kalen wakes up and he's crying for once.
Okay. Cori, you can make a perception check. Because you're the only other individual who would be up at this time.
19.
The boy is crying.
I think that Cori's just kind of silhouetted against the night sky. She turns back and looks at Caelum and just kind of like acknowledges that. She doesn't say anything, but like she shows that she's seen him.
I think I had a memory.
Cori will just stand up, walk over to him, and give him a hug.
It wasn't one of mine. It was like kind of what you describe you go through when you trance. I saw. Oh, I was Corvain as a kid. He was playing with a friend, and they went to the woods, and he fell, and Cori, he died.
She just kind of tips her head a little bit, and listens very carefully.
I can only assume that his friend was the Raven Queen at the time. well, at least child form of her before she went all banana pants ballistic. She brought him back.
Interesting.
That's
This is remarkable, Kalen. You've drawn back the veil.
Does it always suck like that?
Not always. Sometimes they're happy memories.
To a point, I guess.
She'll reach up and just kind of brush the tears off of his face.
I don't know what this means. Am I getting closer to finding actual memories of Corvain, or if something is going wrong with me?
This is the most natural thing that an elf goes through.
Not Shatterkai.
Maybe you aren't a Shadowkai anymore. Or maybe Shadowkai are different now. There's nothing wrong with you, Kalen.
Thanks.
If this continues to happen, it's traditional for young elves to share their memories with each other. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to talk about it, I'm always here.
I don't know if you've noticed, Cori, but I'm not exactly a young elf anymore, and I'm very far from traditional. But thank you.
Do you want to know the Raven Queen's true name?
It might help. I might unravel. Maybe this might be a conversation to have with everyone else before Gwen and Arjhan bust a blood vessel.
Perhaps. I can't guarantee it won't be dangerous.
Motions to their situation. We've been doing dangerous since day one, Cori. And I think it'd be called the Fey Tamed instead of the Fey Wild if it wasn't dangerous.
Fair enough. Though I guess that's what we've been trying to do all along. Kalen,
I didn't... Yeah?
I'm glad you're here.
Well, I'm glad you're glad I'm here. I don't know if I'm glad that I'm here would be an appropriate statement, but...
It's probably poorly worded.
I'm happy to be here to help.
I'm not glad that you're in danger. I'm happy not to be facing this alone.
Yeah. I'm happy to help, Cori. Oh. I'm happy to help, Cori.
Hey. Diantha thought you were cute.
What? Huh? You can't bomb emotions on me like this. I'm trying.
She just laughs and walks away.
Cori.
Amazing. So, other than that, is there anything going on throughout the evening? Such as possibly spell lists today, like you said that you wanted me to remind you of? Okay, cool. Got done. And then you are shifting into autumn as well, so I can change that on the layout. Boop-a-doo.
Connor, you have Indomitable.
Apparently, I don't.
What?
What?
No, because I choked on saliva.
Oh!
I failed that save. There's nothing indomitable about that. I shouldn't be
Buddy.
alive.
Buddy. No, that means you passed using Indomitable.
Okay. And then the following morning, as you are all stirring, waking up, Therese seems to be gone before the morning set. Turns out she's an early bird. And as you all awaken, you hear that there is like a deep humming that seems to be coming from the woods nearby, and you notice that Ruddock isn't there. And going to look for him, you find him just like slightly away from the group, sitting on a rock face. And he is just sort of humming to himself this song, and you see that he is surrounded by at least 20 or so of these large spectral forms of creatures that you have seen, that you have witnessed. And Ruddock seems to kind of be singing this song to these spiritual forms. And as the song comes to an end, you see like large Thrynaxes, creatures that looked like the large turtle that you guys had met, begin to shrink down. And as they shrink, they take on a tiny humanoid form with a little wooden mask. And it seems like the Chewingas that Ruddock surrounds himself with are the spirits of all of the kings of summer that have passed on. His song carries with them the names of these kings, so he does his best to make sure that they know that they are not forgotten.
Caelum casted a photograph on this scene.
Excellent. And at that, Ilni is also with your group. And she even, like, normally not super conversational when it comes to Rudbeck, but all things considered, she is, like, she has not seen Rudbeck do his Kalen thing by himself before. It's usually, like, interacting with him in a social setting, which, again, personality clashes. They are not really operating on the same page half the time. Yes, Gwen.
I just want to know what the plan is. We have to go to a place to... Are we killing the web layer chick? Is she an actual spider, or is she like a half spider, half person?
From my knowledge, big ass spider.
And are we killing her, or are we not killing her?
Cori, this is your ballpark.
I'd like to avoid killing things if we can, but it sounds like this is an invasive species.
Right, okay, solid.
From there, we head over to the mountain to find the Mistwalker, and then regroup with the kings to see what we can do about getting the Fae out of here before winter gets over.
How much longer do we have?
Ilni says that she can take care of getting the rest of the, like, colonial inhabitants of the Summer Isles geared and ready to exit summer. And Rudbeck is very certain that once Meridan is found, that if Meridan agrees to whatever it is that y'all are going to pitch to him, that he would be able to then at least communicate to the rest of the kings. You wouldn't need to necessarily have a second meeting at the amphitheater.
Excellent. Then we can go straight to the Autumnile from there and take care of what we need to take care of there.
Which is...
She just kind of gestures to her ring.
Stopping... Wait. Is there something else we have to do with your ring?
I need to go to a certain place to awaken its powers,
Right.
and then from there, face winter.
Awaken ring.
But let's deal with what's in front of us first.
Right. I'm just making sure my list is up to date, because otherwise y'all know I'm not going to be able to tell what's going on.
Also, putting this on the table now, I had a memory last night that wasn't mine. It was Corvain's.
Oh,
Yeah. Which is weird, because the whole memories locked thing for Shadow Kai. Anyway, there might be a slight chance that I could remember more if I had the Raven Queen's name.
yeah. I thought we decided that wasn't a good idea.
That, kill Cori.
Right. That's why I wanted to put it on the table.
Could I possibly give him the name in words, but not in truth?
Make an Arcana check.
Magical charades.
18.
Whoa.
We're doing the Beetlejuice scene. 2 words. First word.
Beetle.
Bug.
You feel like there would be a way to relay this information to Caelum. You're not sure about how best to do it, but you do know that there are, say, magical means that allow a mystically inclined individual to gather surface thoughts from other individuals, so you might be able to just skim the name without the power.
So I cast detect thoughts on you.
Essentially, yes. That way you could remember it the way that Corvain remembers it. Same way you remember my name. Whereas you wouldn't necessarily have her true name, which is possibly the dangerous part of it.
But let's do our mission first.
Precisely. Arjhan, are you going to be okay with the big spiders? Oh,
Can't hear you.
Little, yeah.
I'll survive, hopefully.
hopefully we all will.
Okay. So,
Will Ilni be accompanying us?
um,
I got the sense that no, she has other business.
she is willing to join you and your companions, but she is needed elsewhere.
Yeah, I guess if we're not stopping back for a while. Good luck.
She will, if you guys are getting ready to depart, she will take you aside a little bit, Arjhan, and she says, I said that when I left Again, I was going to make sure that I sent you off proper. I'm not going to be gone forever. You know where to find me. You know how to contact me. If I meet any of the other hunters, if I were to go to the material plane, what would you have me tell them?
I have nothing that I want to say to them.
I was going to say, if you want, I could tell them that I killed you.
I'm never going to ask anybody to lie for me.
That's why I'm offering. To fake kill you, yes.
No. No.
All right. Just know it was on the table. Arjhan, I'm not good at goodbyes. Which is why, in this moment, I'm not going to tell you goodbye. I am going to say that I will see you soon. That is a promise I would like for you to keep as well.
Okay.
And can you please make sure that you stay alive? I don't have very many friends in this line of work or when we were on the material plane, but you've always been kind.
Yes, I will try to stay alive. I will stay alive.
Good. Then our contract is sealed. And you can't
I
back
hate
out of
that.
a Fey contract.
I hate that so much.
And she just has a big shit-eating grin on her face.
Although, if you needed an excuse, I might have a favor to ask.
A favor for an old friend. And what favor is that?
Whenever we complete this, I would ask for an audience with Scorchbane.
She gives you a little bit of a puzzled expression. Just, that is something I should be able to at least wrangle for you.
You may be okay with him dying, but I may have gotten tangled in something where I have an obligation to make sure that he and his kind don't die.
I see. Well, a favor for a favor, you not dying, and I will see to it that you can meet with Scorchbane. Hopefully, he will mind his manners a little bit more this time around, if you are going to be savior of the Feywild. It's a pretty large title, I know, but I think you and your friends...
I can stick it with the others.
All right. Then I will do this for you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having been kind to me. Not many were during our time in the Hunters together. But a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
Arjhan just like he's looking distant, but just nods.
She'll pull you in for a hug, if possible.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't resist.
Yeah.
He hugs about.
And she gives you a slight peck on the cheek, and then she will depart and begin making her way through the jungles of summer. And as you look back towards your group, Reddick has like one chewinga on each shoulder and then another one that he's sort of just cradling. And looks towards your group and says, "All right, is everybody ready to go?"
I guess.
For the most part.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. And so you do. Reddick explains that it's going to be about a day and a half or so to get to the Spiderwood itself. So it is going to be a little bit of travel in order to get there. But thankfully, again, Reddick's presence with you deters a lot of any kind of malicious intent by any creature that might be thinking of your group as a very nice, quick, and easy snack. Thankfully, your first evening comes. Is there anything that you guys would like to address over this nighttime? If not, just move on to the next day.
I guess Gwen would just make sure that Cori's doing all right because it's been a lot going on. So she'll find a quiet moment and pull her aside. You doing all right there, kiddo?
I think so.
You think so, or?
Well, I have a lot of complicated emotions. I'm kind of disappointed that Wraith isn't at full power, but I'm also sort of relieved that I don't have that responsibility yet, necessarily.
Uh-huh.
I'm worried about Caelum.
Dreaming's bad, right?
Not for him. Not for us. Dreaming's supposed to be a good thing.
Good. Okay.
But it's a drastic change from the way things were before. We don't know why it's happening.
Right. Okay, but let's go back to how you're feeling about all this.
I feel like there's something that needs to be done, and I'm the person to do it.
You really think you can do this?
I have to.
Good, because I think you can too.
Thank you. I really am glad that you're all here with me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not just gonna leave you hanging. And like the whole civilization that is the Feywild. That would kind of suck.
Yes, and the natural plane would be next.
Right. So basically, we're like the saviors of all worlds. Or we're gonna be.
If you want to think of it that way, perhaps.
I mean, I do. Don't you?
I'd just be happy to be the savior of Cyprus.
Do you think that can happen?
Hope so.
Alright then. Save Cyprus, save the Feywild, save the material plane. Easy, right?
It certainly sounds simple when you break it down like that.
That's why my lists are so short.
I like those lists. They work really well.
It's really nice to cross things off too. Like most of my stuff's crossed off right now. Just the winter in the Feywild, which is what we're doing now. The constellation. Did we do that? Did we figure that one out? The contemplator?
I think so. Caelum,
Yeah?
the contemplator's gone, right? We've already figured out what that was about.
Yeah, I murdered him.
That's
Oh,
right.
shit,
Caelum
okay,
murdered
crap.
him.
Wait, what?
Just gonna cross that one off the list.
Go back to sleep, Roddick.
Wait, did you murder Father Grun too, or is he just gone?
That is the contemplator.
Oh shit. Okay, we're gonna cross that one off too.
Oh, we could have made those both the same point on the list.
It was underneath one. It was like.
Why are
one
we asking about
subsection.
this now?
But I'm checking my list.
We're
Macaque's
updating-
on my list, but I don't remember why.
Okay.
What's on your list?
Macaque.
Macaw.
Macaque.
You
Circle
can
Let's
cross
just
that off.
mark.
drag everybody's like baggage out.
You can cross McCarth off.
Did we do something about that, or did we find out something about that?
No, she was very clear.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So we just need to find Cori's winter season and then deal with winter in the Feywild. Oh, we also have the Dark Star. Why isn't that on my list?
You should put that down on the list.
Alright, this is-
It's very important.
Got it.
I mean, I also guess I also have the whole, like, Heralds of Tiamat thing, but I think
Do
that's
I know
me.
about that? Was I supposed to know about that?
I don't think I've been very private with the information.
Well, there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah,
There's yourself.
that's me.
Yes.
There's,
Kendek?
Kendek is, she's accepted him as the red. Throne, I guess, is the best we're gonna get for blue. I don't know if Ren was actually supposed to be the Herald in Green. He had something to do with the cult, but like I don't know if it was anything more than that.
I think it's the formation of the heralds on Ren's part from the journal entries I've read.
Did Cori confirm that he was a herald?
No,
No?
no, she didn't.
I mean, well, she didn't tell you, but did she ever confirm?
Cori is also the only person who knows he's a whole ass dragon. And not just a dude.
Well, wasn't it Ren? He's the only green dragon that's left.
What?
What?
Did I know that? Was I supposed to know that?
Well, if Arjhan and I don't know that... Well, there's a possibility you would know that, but...
You met Ren and didn't
Yes,
realize
I
that
met
he was
a wood elf named Ren.
She walks up to Arjhan and puts like hands on either side of his face, and she's like, "Is this okay?"
I guess.
You met Ren and didn't realize that he was a dragon?
Okay.
Kind of
Well, so-
preoccupied with, your death.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah.
I was also preoccupied with that, but I realized he was a dragon as well.
You
I'm
guys,
sure you had a lot more time to talk to him about that.
You guys seem like you have a lot going on right now. I'm just gonna get some more firewood.
Anyway, so I guess I'm just looking for a white guy now.
Any white guy or a white dragon?
A white dragon.
I didn't
guy.
know dragonborns could be white. What is their thing? Like
Wasn't Skavix white?
air?
Yeah.
Mm,
Ice.
Ice. Arjhan, can you write me a list of all those? Because I only got 2 of them. And one of them was you.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, list complete. Time for Betty Boo.
have a good night, everybody. Camel, spend the night looking at the stars.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about Ren, Arjhan.
I mean, if he thought that I knew, I guess you didn't really have a reason to.
I mean, when I did leave, I didn't know that he had anything to do with this.
Yeah, it seemed like another thing that we probably could have talked about.
I acknowledge that was a mistake. If you need to talk to him again, I will come with you.
It's fine. He knows where I live.
All right then.
Hail to you, mad mother of drakes. I found another fucking one.
All right.
That's like me actually praying to Tiamat.
Okay, make a religion check.
Natural 1. So 0.
Okay.
Oh no, 2.
There is a moment of quiet. You haven't really prayed on another plane before. Not really. You think it worked? You said the things. Yeah, it's probably fine.
Do I have to like pay for long distance calling?
Do you want me to speak? Use contact other planes?
I'm not sure if she would like that at all.
Oh, direct line to Tiamat. Ooh, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Anyway, I'm honestly not sure how much I should even say. This guy seemed like a complete ass.
Yeah, I thought the whole machismo thing would work, but he's just a dack.
Seems like a bully.
Yeah.
Anyway. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey, Caelum.
Yep.
Can I sleep on your legs again?
Sure.
I don't know if it bothers you, but like it's actually incredibly comfortable. You have like your thighs are like just solid enough that it makes like the perfect pillow.
Kalen puts his back to a tree and sits cross-legged and pats.
Gwen dog circles in his lap and then goes to bed.
Super comfortable, very cute for about 45 minutes. Then your legs start falling asleep. It sucks.
Ah, sucks to suck. I can't fall asleep, bitch.
It's your nerves, you weirdo.
I'm undead. What nerves are there?
You still can feel things, you weirdo. Anyways, we could yell about Caelum's dead ass all night, but we got other things that we need to cover. So, you guys wake up the following day. Again, Reddick is having, he is performing his summer songs to remind the nearby kings that they are not forgotten. And it is at that point that your journey begins yet again. And as you are trekking through these woods, I'd like for everybody to make a history check.
Oh boy.
Don't like that.
14.
25, 14.
Jesus, Cori goes into the Feywild and all of a sudden all of her intelligence rolls are off the chain. 19.
5.
Okay, so Gwen, none of this, the passage of time has meant nothing to you since coming here. It's all just weird colors, weird creatures, trees or bugs. You hate it, but it's also pretty exhilarating. Everyone else remembers that when you entered the Feywild, you were told that there were only about 4 days left until summer began its fall, or summer fell to winter. You guys are currently on the 3rd day. So you feel like you have 1 more day of safety.
It's gonna get a lot more rough from here on out.
Solve this quickly.
This has to work.
It'll totally work, guys. What if we ever failed?
For you audiocast listeners, you just missed out on a beautiful series of glances.
Chaos.
All right, so as you all continue through these woods, you start noticing that it is getting darker out, and it is very early for it to be nearing the level of shade that you are used to. And you start thinking to yourself, maybe it is just that there's more foliage, there's more canopy than there are in other areas of this wood. But as you look up, you realize that there is an impossibly thick layer of webbing that actually fills the canopy, that is preventing sunlight from actually reaching down onto the forest floor. As you are coming through these woods, it is getting eerily quiet. You are used to hearing the cawing of birds off in the distance, the rumbling of the kings of summer minding their own business off throughout the wood. But here in this place, it just seems like it is only you all inside of these woods. And Caelum, with your perception, kind of scanning around, you start seeing what look to be like small skittering forms climbing up trees, making their way away from your group. And Ruddick is arguably a little unnerved coming through here. He seems like he is very much used to open spaces, lush foliage, creatures, and it seems like even the Chewingas have like stopped at a certain point and don't want to progress any further. And he like sets the one down that he's been kind of cradle carrying the whole time. And he says, "Don't worry, I'll be back for you, buddy." And like gives it a little tussle on its head, and you can hear what sounds like a rattling noise as he does. And then we'll stand up, and then you all will continue your progress into the Spiderwood. And going for about 20 minutes or so, there is a moment where you start feeling like you're slowing a little bit, like you're trying to trek forward as quickly as you can, but there seems to be an issue with walking through this place. And as you look down, you realize beneath the leaves and beneath the kind of base foliage that has been littered around the forest floor, there are webs.
So she knows we're here.
Should we make an entrance? Gwen takes out the Sun Forger.
Please do not burn the forest.
We are going to have to walk through that forest.
Okay. Should I at least cut some of it? Does that hurt them?
No,
Emotionally?
I think that would alert them even more, because then it's a struggling creature in their web.
Fair. We don't want to bring her to us.
That might be precisely what we want. We are on a time schedule.
I can be bait. I'd be great bait.
You're
Look at me,
very
I'm small. I can wiggle.
You're very alluring, Gwen.
Oh, stop, Cori. I have a boyfriend now. Can't be flirting with me all the time.
Cutting down the webs seems like a good idea. Both it's going to get us through to her faster, and it may bring her closer to us.
All right. Our dog. Do you think this is a good plan?
Were you meaning me?
Yeah.
I've never been called that before.
It's called a nickname.
I've had a nickname before. It wasn't a very good one. I'll stick with our dog.
Solid. So, but do you think that she'd come to us if we start cutting down shit? Or would
Maybe?
just our minions come?
Probably a bunch of minions, but if we kill enough of those minions, then she would probably come out.
Fuck yeah.
All right, so that's
Lego.
I'm
and
always grateful for your wisdom, Rebecca.
and Rebecca like pumps his fist back in a readied motion, and you see once again that powerful gauntlet just appear onto his arm. And this time he then like opens up his hand again and clamps it, and as he does, those two like bladed appendages from the gauntlet actually come forward, and he just begins like punch cutting as many of these webs as he possibly can.
Gwen's got her 2 axes out, and she's just like, "Rah!"
Okay. So Redbeck and Gwen are busy cutting a metric shit ton of spider webs. I'd like for everybody to make a perception check. Gwen, you will be making yours a disadvantage because you are currently occupied.
21.
23.
Natural 20 for a 25.
D&D Beyond sucks. 7.
Okay,
I
so
rolled a 9 and a 7. I have +5.
Don't make these services angry at you. They will retaliate. Bless
so
you.
Gwen, as you and Redbeck are busy cutting through all of these webbing, Redbeck got a 5 on his perception. It was not very well. The rest of you, as Gwen and Redbeck are, again, in the process of just focusing on destroying these webs, are, doing that thing that you suggested. Looking out for all of these horrifying spiders that are potentially nearby. And potentially they are not, because in actuality, they are indeed nearby. You see leaves rustling behind you that seem to move on an unseen wind, but with your high perception, you realize that it's not an unseen wind. These are swarms of spiders moving along the ground that leaves are just getting carried atop of, almost like blackened waves through the forest floor. As you are looking up at the canopy, there are spiders that are larger than the sizes of horses that seem to just kind of be coming in from different directions, and these spiders are lush greens. Some of them are more of an ochre yellowish color, and they are again making their way towards your group. And you also see that from the ground near where Redbeck and Gwen are currently chopping, there is, again, a section of the earth that seems to tilt upwards slightly, and you see a set of gleaming eyes from underneath this section, as what appears to be a monstrous trapdoor spider has made its way into this wood as well. So, what is everybody doing as we are going to be initiating a Bwomp 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 skill challenge?
Caelum is reassuredly patting Arjhan's arm, more for himself than for Arjhan.
So, roll initiative. Let's start tracking this year's skill challenge.
8.
13.
19.
Not bad.
Nice. 6.
And what did Rodbeck get? Really fucking bad. Rodbeck got a 9. So, first up in the skill challenge, Gwen. Gwen, you are in the process of cutting through these webs. You're having a great time with it. The ground is like lifting up at a very odd angle for natural earth to be lifting near you, and Gwen, you are close enough that you see a set of 8 gleaming eyes from the shade of this little propped up piece of ground, as well as the pupils on the front of the spider, just like as it is beginning to crawl out. And it is just doing that like when you like rub your silverware against each other in preparation for a meal.
I've
It's
seen
doing
enough
that.
spiders.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. They're like cleaning their hands before they eat.
Yes.
Gwen is going to, I guess I would like to rage
Okay.
if I can. And then Gwen is going to do a jump at this trap door, and she is going to attempt to close it on the spider in some harmful way, I guess. That's our goal. So I'd like to use athletics to do so.
Sure. Make an athletics check.
That makes sense. I think it does. At advantage, because rage. Wow, that's not great. 15.
Cool. So a 15 is a success.
Solid.
So what you were looking for is, again, 7 successes or 5 failures. So.
Wait, was this the game that we had? We did a skill challenge and just failed immediately?
Yeah, you guys ended up fighting a bunch of lizards that exploded into small little, like, tree plant men.
It's been a week.
That was last episode.
Yes, it was.
It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been. So, Gwen, as you hop onto the trapdoor of this spider. So the thing about trapdoor spiders.
Right, it's webs.
Yeah, its trap is not made of like wood planks or anything. It's more foliage, and mostly itself it kind of has like a cone-shaped back so it can lie in the dirt easier and await its prey. But thankfully, you are able to just jump on it, and using your 20 strength, you stomp down on the spider, and it is then forced back flat with the ground. Spider no like. But who cares what the spider's like? Caelum, it's your turn.
Can I use thaumaturgy to lure some of the spiders away using the cause harmless tremors in the ground for 1 minute?
What is the range of thaumaturgy?
30 feet.
Okay, so open for adventure. Thank you for the raid. We are fighting a bunch of spiders. You came at a great time. I'm sorry for all of you who don't like spiders as much as
We're doing great.
doing great. It's skill challenge. So, using thaumaturgy, you might be able to lure them away, but
Using a deception with
it
advantage?
would be very difficult
Oh.
because you guys have been attacking webs continuously and are now making an even bigger racket. With Gwen jumping atop of a trapdoor spider.
I guess I could also use perception to make sure none of the spiders sneak up on us. Yeah.
Yeah, make a perception check.
17.
Okay, 17 is also a success. You can see that there are a plethora of spiders that are making their way from the exit that you guys had kind of walked through towards your group. And it looks like at this point, one of the best options that you have is either stand your ground here and get overrun, or run deeper into these woods to try
I know what
and
we're
avoid
doing.
them. So that is Caelum's success. Next up is Rudbeck, and Rudbeck is going to give Arjhan advantage on whatever roll he ends up making, seeing as Arjhan is the least comfortable around these spiders. He's trying to be like a reassuring figure.
Thank you for following, Butter Nutty Professor.
Butternutty Professor. We appreciate you. So, Arjhan, what you doing? You'll have advantage on this.
Crying?
That's a free action.
I mean, do we want to start running? Because if so, Arjhan's definitely running. Flying, even.
I wouldn't recommend flying.
I would.
Yeah, it seems, Caelum, did you inform your group that there
Yeah, he would
is-
have informed them that there are people on us. We should hurry the process up.
There's a mighty wave of spiders making their way towards your group.
Yeah, Arjhan wants to fly forward. Going deeper.
Okay. And what skill would you like to use to represent that?
I mean, I don't think I can do athletics since Gwen already did.
No, you can, because Caelum couldn't use athletics. You can use athletics now.
Yeah, so long as it's not the person immediately before you in initiative.
I would very much like to ask for acrobatics instead.
Okay. Acrobatics totally works. Again, there are like webs in the trees above, so as you're flying, you could use acrobatics to like try and avoid flying into those.
You've got advantage.
At advantage. 14.
14 is a failure. As Arjhan, you begin to try and fly forward, and Caelum's warning of don't fly, you're like, no, flight is my solution to many a problem. Your wings end up getting caught in enough spider webs that they start to like bundle up towards the tops, making it very difficult to get that full articulation in for your actual flight path. This is one failure. Next up, Cori.
All right. Cori's going to be like covering the back of the group whilst we are running from the spider horde. She's going to look up and see that Arjhan is having trouble. And I'd like to use athletics to try and clear some webs away for him.
Okay.
She points her propulsion arm upwards and says, "Yip yip." 10.
Okay. Cori, you go to shoot your arm up off into the webbing. It kind of gets stuck in the webbing, like on its way to Arjhan, and can't really seem to like penetrate past that. And then after it times out, the reverse propulsion system kicks in, and then it's able to detach itself from that web and find its way back onto your arm, but it was unable to actually help clear your friend out of this. So that is 2 successes, 2 failures. Next up, top of the round with Gwen. Gwen, you cannot use athletics, as that is the skill that Cori has just used.
Lord in heaven. I'm having flashbacks. Gwen is going to look back at... Are we running away? Is that what we're doing?
You are running deeper into the Spiderwood.
Okay.
We're not running away. We're running toward the even bigger spider.
Right. And what did Arjhan use? Oh, no, Cori just went before me.
Cori used athletics.
Cool. Gwen is going to, as she's running, use her skill of survival to help run through, like to navigate through, try to touch, I guess, as few webs as possible now since we're running away.
Sure. Go for it.
Which is just, it's not an advantage. It's just the thing. That totally went off. 17.
17 is a success.
Solid.
You are able to help Arjhan out of his sticky situation, caught up within them webs, and in doing so are also able to start like hopping while running to try and avoid clusters of web that you can see are connected to the trees and the surrounding foliage. It seems like the more that you run into this place, the more icky it becomes. And that is the scientific word for it, is icky. Next up, Caelum.
How big are the trees here?
These are, I would say, roughly about like a 40-foot tall tree is pretty easy to come by here. A lot of these are old growth. Like, there hasn't been people coming this deep into the woods to chop down the forest to then, like, make stuff with.
Could I cast Animate Object on the trees?
What is the casting time?
Action.
Oh, yeah, you'd be able to. That would be...
What size are the trees?
Yeah, would they be category huge or large? Because
They
then I
would
could
be
do
huge.
2 of Kalen pulls out 10 daggers, casts Animate Objects on those. And can I use Arcana to direct them to make like a blender, basically,
Yeah.
to cut forward?
Yeah, you can totally use that Arcana check.
23.
Okay, that is a success. So, blender style, you are cutting through. Redbeck seems to be like tailing your group to give you all a little bit more of a buffer between you all and this obscene amount of spiders that are making its way towards your group. But the blender technique works totally fine.
You're gonna love my nuts.
All right. Redbeck.
Slap shop.
Redbeck is going to give Cori advantage on this round. He sees a Kalen in need, and they are a friend indeed. So that is what they are going to attempt to do. Arjhan.
I'm scared. That's it. Can I try to like insight the spiders to see, just like, because I am very wary. I'm just like trying to figure out where spiders are coming from, if there's like any direction, if we are being ambushed, how best to avoid it.
Yeah, make an insight check.
16.
Okay, 16 is a success. So you guys are at 5 successes and 2 failures. Arjhan, it seems like they are, as you're continuing your path, they are definitely leading you somewhere.
I mean, based off my insight, do I have a sense that yes, we need to go there, or no, we need to break through the other direction?
You feel like they are probably attempting to take you to the big goddamn spider.
Okay.
So kind of the same place that you want to be going to, but you would much rather it be on your terms than theirs. You feel like
Okay.
breaking away might be a decent idea for it, but you're not sure.
No, I definitely like try to get distance in between me and the spiders based off that, but that's the thing for next round.
For sure. Next up, Cori. Cori, you have advantage.
Yeah, I do. I would like to use persuasion to call on Ampleforth.
Okay.
To summon my steed, because this seems like a good situation to have a steed.
Okay.
All right. 25.
Okay, so that is also a success. However, you do not succeed in summoning forth Ampleforth.
Go on.
He has a brother.
Yeah, he does.
Oh no.
As you are all running through this woods, you hear what sounds like hooves smattering against the forest floor, and bursting through what looks like a wall of web, there is just this glorious golden light that billows forth as Oakenheel, the original mount of Coriander John Quill, actually jumps out, looks towards your group, and like looks at you, Cori, and it's just like, how dare you? How dare you bring me into this situation? But then like immediately like turns, sees spiders, and just starts goring them with their horns.
Amazing.
They will have words with you later, John Quill. But for right now, they are being most helpful. So that is... Hey guys, you're at 6 successes. You just need 1 more. Next
No
up,
pressure.
Gwen.
No pressure. No pressure. No pressure.
None.
And Krieg just sneezed on me, so hopefully that's good luck.
What a cutie bug.
It wasn't cute. Gwen is gonna go back to using brute force because that is what she's good at. Literally, the only thing. I guess I could try to intimidate the spiders away, but probably not the best idea. I mean, maybe. Will I go? Don't fuck with me. 16.
16 is a success.
I have plus 10. That's how
good.
at advantage. That's how bad I rolled both times. Just saying.
Oh my god. Excellent. So that is 7 successes. You guys have succeeded on this here skill challenge. So as you are racing forward deeper into these woods, Oakenheel has now emerged. Reddick is doing his best to keep these other spiders at bay. And as you are rushing forward, you see that there is what looks like an elven woman that is wrapped up in these webs, like she has been captured here. And as your group ends up coming by, her eyes end up opening and she looks down and begins asking you all for help.
I could send my daggers up there to cut her loose.
Okay.
Can I do an insight check?
Yes, can.
This feels like a fake trick. I'm not trained in this. 12.
A 12? You don't know what a citizen of the Summer Isles was doing this deep in the woods, but it is a surprise that this individual has not been devoured by a hopeless amount of spiders already.
Right.
Listen, man, I'm just here to cut things.
I can't tell y'all the serious, like, feeling of deja vu I'm having right now. But I don't foresee this ending well.
Beautiful lady trapped that we need to rescue. I'm in.
Yeah. I'll send my daggers up there and catch her on the way down.
Okay. And as you catch her on the way down, she looks towards you and then begins offering you her deepest thanks. In Elven, she doesn't know what she would do without...
In Elven, Caelum just says, fucking run.
Okay. And she will take your hand and then continue, like, running behind you, trailing a little bit. And you get maybe... I want to say close to around, like, you run for maybe another 5 minutes or so. And at this point, the spiders that you have been running away from, like, they stop at a point and then turn and then begin going back into the woods. And as you are here in this quiet place, Caelum, make a dexterity save.
Why ask this of the boy? 8.
Plus 4.
12.
12.
Caelum, as you are holding hands with this individual, with this elven woman, you didn't really think about it as you were running. The fact that she's not in summer form on the Summer Isles is very strange. She looks almost like she is closer to like a winter Eladrin. She has this snow white skin, very nice white hair that's also been kind of pulled back. And she begins to fall apart into very, very thin strands of silvery, smooth silk. And as she collapses into this pile of webbing, your hand is connected. It is all upon your legs onto the forest floor, and most of you is caught in what you're assuming is difficult terrain.
Son of a bitch, please.
And from the canopies above, you see a large arachnid body begin to descend with what looks like the top half of a very devilish-looking humanoid woman with 8 eyes speckled across the upper part of her face. And she says,
I didn't expect to get 2 Kalens in this. Excellent. It's time for a feast.
and that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by and join us for this wonderful obsession or adventure through the Spiderwood. This is not an obsession. You're being weird. Hey, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm RJ. I'm slightly concerned. You can find me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life. Also, I'm hosting a giveaway. You can win Hades. There's a post pinned on my Twitter. Go like it. Follow it. Like my Twitch. This week, you can catch me over at G Game Nights on Thursday, where I'll be playing our final episode of Elegant Suffering. My boy might get to marry his girl. We'll find out. He might punch a noble. Ugh. On not Saturday, on Sunday, you can find me over at the Hype Goblins channel in the morning, in the afternoon, over at G Game Nights again for Slaying 101. And of course, Sunday night, we're playing our Tomb of Annihilation game. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and this is Krieg. He's being very needy tonight, but he's ferocious. I do a lot of things on the internet. I'll be on my own stream tomorrow, 2-ish. I don't know. I never stick to that. In the afternoon, I'll be playing some Dead by Daylight, or I might teach my mom how to play Fall Guy. If she agrees to it, we'll see. And then I'll be on G Game Nights. We're doing a Masks game where I'm reprising my role as Sabrina, the sweet, sweet pastel goth girl. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back on Nerd Immersions for a round of 7 parts. Thursday, I'll be over at Lauren's, but on LBHackEmUp for, please don't play with that, for Thursday Night Terrors. And then on Sunday, I will be with RJ on G Game Nights doing Abby on the Slaying 101 game. And then back here for Tomb, where I'm playing a new character for reasons. DanaeKeener.com.
Hi. I'm Cyber. I don't like spiders. You can find most of my stuff at server1201.live. My Twitter, my Twitch, YouTube. There's lots of cool stuff there. Check out the podcast that Kyle with and I do. It's called Let's Talk About It. It's got a new YouTube. It's on Spotify now. Check out Jabroni TV at jabroni.tv. It's got a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things. Follow them on YouTube because pretty soon you'll be able to see something really big and really exciting that I did with them. That I was really nervous about. But for the games that I'm in, I'm here. I guess we'll be fighting a big spider next week. I run the Thursday game. We're fighting vampires. But first we gotta talk to werewolves because I am who I am. And tomorrow I'm gonna be on High Shelf Gaming playing Werewolf the Apocalypse. I play a yoga instructor and he's a good boy. And I'm really excited to jump back into that game. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. I play as Cori under the Elgin Paladin on Mondays, and on Sundays I am Baz the Drow Rogue Fighter during our Tomb of Annihilation campaign. We have finally reached the tomb. Blood has been spilled. People have died. It is quite. It's getting real. It's getting real, guys. And on Wednesday Wednesday this week is what I meant. We're going to be doing Monster Noir. So come and see what happens to Harker now that she's betrayed everyone. And not this Saturday, but next Saturday I'll be on G Game Nights playing in our Star Power game as Vivian Coyle. Her thing is bees. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the indoor adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/indooradventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this week, and this week only, for the month of October, you can also join us on Wednesday for our Monster Noir game. But, again, if you want to check out any of those games, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. But for now, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask either myself or any of these other fine folk, you can either join us on Discord with the link to the side or in the description down below. Feel free to ask us questions there. We will do our best to respond in kind. But we are going to be heading out for the evening. So once again, I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop by. Thank you to these wonderful players for putting up with my bullshit and spider-themed nonsense once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!